All right, good morning and happy Monday, everyone. Hope you all had a great weekend. And we'll jump in here and hit the ground running. So my focus for this week mainly going to be on the S&Ps and the QQQ, and I want to approach things with a bit more of a day trade focus. So day trading the S&Ps and the QQQ. If we start here on the weekly chart and work our way down, pretty good selling as of late in big tech. Weekly chart doesn't really change, right? Meaning we're still bullish. We've got good structure. We've got good trend. We've got a buy signal, and we got a perfect score of 12. So nothing changes. But at the same time, we could pull back to about 460, 455. We could see price pull back to the weekly 21, and the weekly chart would still be bullish. So I'm going to mark up that we'll call it 457. And as far as key bigger picture, that's one really important level. But the weekly chart remains bullish. And then if we drop down to our daily time frame, here's where things get a little interesting. Score goes from a 12 to a 3. We have no more buy signal. So the candle goes from green to gray. We are under our 21 EMA. And we've got the first momentum break since May. Back here in May, momentum crosses positive. And now the bulls have got a little wind at their back. Momentum cross kicks off the uptrend. And with momentum above zero, for the most part, every pullback to support, the buyers jump in. Pulls back to the 21, continuation higher. Another pullback towards our 21, more continuation higher. And on this pullback here, we break momentum, we lose our buy signal, and we are under the 21 EMA. Bigger picture support, weekly 21. Shorter term resistance, potentially, the daily 21 EMA. So mark up that 457, mark up, we'll call it 485. 485 also lines up with the 21 EMA and the 50 SMA on the 4-hour time frame, and not too far from the hourly 200, right around 483. I think really important levels. We're going to get a bounce this morning. We've got the YM up 0.2, the RUT up 0.4, Bitcoin up 0.5, MQ up 1%. I think any pop that can't take the Qs back above that 485, at some point you're looking to short it. So 485-ish, very important resistance. And then I gotta think shorter term support, 470-ish. We've got the spot gamma put wall at 474, and we also have our daily 50 at 470. So 3 levels for you. Short-term resistance, if the bulls can't rip it through there, 485, 486. If we are below that 485, 486, I think you're looking to short the bounces. Shorter-term support would be 470. The daily 50 SMA and the spot gamma put wall through that daily 50. Your next big level of support, weekly 21 around 458-ish. So my game plan this morning, we've got a little pop coming through up about 1%. I'm not going to be in a big rush to short it. I don't got to be the first guy to short it. But again, any pop under our 21 EMA, if they can't close it back above that level, I do think you're looking for a short. First downside target would be 470. Your second downside target would be about 460. So there's the Qs, and then the S&Ps here. They've been selling big tech, they've been selling the semiconductors, and then we saw that big rotation. They sell the QQQ and they buy Dow Jones. They sell the SMH and they're buying XLF. The rotation can keep the ship afloat, but here I think is the problem. They rotated so hard, so fast. The things they rotated into, right, IWM, Dow Jones, the financials, they rotated so hard that in the short term, we got a little bit too hot too quick. Small caps end up about 8% at the highs, 8% above their 21 EMA. Dow Jones ended up about 4.5% to 5% above the 21. And I want to say the bank stocks did pretty much the same. So they rotated. That rotation in the short term can help the S&Ps. While they're selling the big boys, they rotated so hard. In the short term, it's tough to ask for any more upside. And granted, we got a little flush into Friday. The things they've rotated into, in the short term, they're a little bit cooked. The dip on Friday does help, gets them a little bit closer to the buy zone. But I think it makes for a very interesting week where the S&Ps here, they ended last week with a little bit of weakness. The first close under the 21 EMA since May. We have no more buy signal, and now we're getting that little momentum break here. The weekly chart, the weekly is still perfect. So whether QQQ, SMH, NVIDIA, etc., the things they've sold, they haven't killed the weekly charts just yet. Weekly charts still have good trend, good buy signals, all kinds of bullish things taking place. The weekly chart for the S&Ps will remain bullish all the way down to about 5,300. So this week we could pull back another $200. Weekly chart is still pretty bullish. In the event we get there, very big support, 5,300. At any point we get a weekly close below the 21 EMA, then something bigger picture has changed. 5,300 key support, again, if we get there, and then short-term resistance, daily 21 EMA. Okay, so best case scenario for the bulls, they come out the gate strong this morning. They get it and they keep it above that 21. I called it 55.50. If they can get it and keep it back above the 55.50, it doesn't change. It doesn't fix all the little problems, but at least the bulls can try to stabilize it. If they can't get it above that 55.50, and then we take out 5,500, then I think you play for a move down towards 5,400. It's a spot that calls for patience. It's a spot that calls for patience, and again, I think a spot that calls for more day trading. While we're trying to get a little more clarity from the S&Ps, the QQQ, etc., as far as where is the market's next big move, in the interim, swing trading can be really tough. Plenty of things out there look bullish. Plenty of things out there look bearish. We could find a good-looking long or short. We always want to aim to take our trades in the direction of the S&Ps and the QQQ. Right? The best trades take place when you've got that wind at your back. So mark up your key levels. Do not be in a big rush. You don't got to be the first guy or gal to buy it or short it. And yeah, think a bit more day trading. But I am leaning a little short if the S&Ps and the Qs can't get back above their 21. Alrighty. As far as one group that looks pretty interesting, Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a nice move last week. And as far as my sector rankings, Bitcoin was the strongest. XLK and SMH are the weakest. And then the bank stocks, healthcare, XLP, they all graded out pretty strong as well. But Bitcoin, nice move last week. We are back above our 21. We are back above the 50. And we got ourselves a score of 9 out of 12. If we go check out a name like a coin or an MSTR, they, of course, got a little traction going last week. If Bitcoin continues to show signs of strength, this might be one spot for a long. BTC, GBTC, Coinbase, Mara, MSTR, that might be the one spot. Let's go look for a squeeze, shall we? MSTR, squeeze on the weekly and a squeeze on the 3-day. So weekly squeeze, not too shabby. Although earnings are on the 1st, so if I want to play a weekly squeeze, I would tend to want a little more time than that. But nonetheless, good looking setup. And then on the 3-day squeeze, this could be a big one. I don't think we're there just yet. but this could be a big one. If they can take my momentum line and pull that back above zero, at that point, we should get the buy signal. We should get the white dot. And then it could be fair game for a move towards 2035, 2050. Coinbase up next, and Coinbase has a weekly, 3-day, 2-day, 2-hour squeeze. Earnings coming up on the 1st, so if you are going to swing trade, at least be mindful of that. Weekly squeeze with a slingshot signal, or a 3-day squeeze with a slingshot signal, rather. We've got the slingshot on the weekly, not quite on the 2-day squeeze. Daily squeeze just fired. And we've got the 2-hour squeeze and the white dot heading into the open. Let's go take a look at Riot. But I think my favorite two would be Coin and MSTR. Riot. Yeah, I think I like Coin and MSTR a little better. The move here for Coin, we don't have the signal right now. But bigger picture, the move would be at any point we get the white dot here on the weekly squeeze. The weekly squeeze turns into an A+ setup. Then I want to play for a push towards 300 bucks. I don't have the trigger just yet, but whether it be this week, whether it be any day next week, if I get the buy trigger, I like a 300 call. I like a 300 call butterfly. Something out the money up near our weekly squeeze target. So keep an eye on Bitcoin, Coinbase, MSTR, and then the rotation ideas, bank stocks, healthcare, etc. The financials, all right, very, very nice move. A little bit softer into Thursday and Friday, which I think makes a lot of sense. We've got the weekly squeeze. The weekly squeeze and the white dot. The big question is, does rotation continue? Should rotation continue? Weekly squeeze here for XLF, I think takes it to 44.45. If rotation continues. Healthcare's got a really nice weekly squeeze. I think I might like this one a little better than XLF. Good trend, good structure, good momentum, a buy signal, a perfect score of 12, and the white dot. Again, $1 million question. Does rotation continue? If they keep on rotating to the banks, the healthcare names, Dow Jones, IWM, these are a few spots to keep an eye on. If they rotate for another 4 or 5 weeks, and then XLV and XLF, they take their weekly squeezes, they fire them to the upside, that means that bank stocks and the healthcare stocks, they're going to offer some pretty good trades. Weekly squeezes fire, and they've got some wind at their back. XLF, XLV, and next up here would be XLP, and another really, really solid weekly squeeze. XLP's got a weekly. We've got a white dot on the 3-day squeeze. And we've got the slingshot arrow on the 2-day squeeze. If you're looking to get swing long, you're going to hold your trade anywhere from 2 to 5+ days. I still think you want to focus on the rotation ideas. Dow, IWM, healthcare, the banks, the XLPs. While the XLKs, the SMHs, they're going to need a lot more time. SMH, a score of -1, under our 21 EMA, under the 50, momentum break, lower time frame sell signals. None of that is bullish. None of that in the short term says jump in and buy me. XLF, yeah, a lot different. XLF, XLV, XLP, a lot different than an XLK or an SMH. So we know where the leadership is, and we got to figure out here, Can they keep on rotating hard enough to keep the S&Ps grinding higher? Remember, if you lose the S&Ps, you tend to lose everything. That's why I think this is the most important chart for the week ahead. The S&Ps get back above the 5550. They are stabilizing back above the 21 EMA. That's good for healthcare. That's good for XLF. That's good for XLP. It's good for pretty much everything, but especially the rotation ideas. S&Ps can't get back above the 5550. Better yet, they take out 5500. That can have a negative impact on everything. Bank stocks, healthcare, XLP, the whole kit and caboodle. So that's why I like my game plan. I'm not in a big rush to get swing long. I'm not in a big rush to get swing short. I'm not in a big rush to buy JP Morgan. I'm not in a big rush to go buy a healthcare stock. I am sitting back. I'm being patient. I've got my levels marked up. And again, I'm going to keep the most of my focus on lower time frames. While the market goes through a little transitions from bullish to a bit more neutral, it can just make swing trading really frustrating. You're lacking a lot of wind at your back. You can find the same wind at your back down on your 15-minute, 30-minute, 1-hour squeeze. You don't call for a multi-day, multi-week push from a lower time frame squeeze, but they can make for a good day trade. So that is my game plan. That is my story. I'm sticking to it. And aside from that, folks, that's all I've got for you. So I've got to hit the road here. I've got a quick dentist appointment. And then I'm back here in the Essentials room at 10:30 a.m. Central. So I'll be back in about 2.5 hours. And we'll keep the party going, run a couple scans, and we'll look for a few trades. For those of you on YouTube, as always, I appreciate you tuning in. I'll be back Wednesday morning, same time, same channel. And I should have a brand new video on the channel tonight. So be sure to keep an eye on that. But all right, y'all, I'm going to run here. So as always, thank you for all the time and effort. Do not be in a big rush this week. Whether you're bullish, you're bearish, you're neutral, you want to get long, you want to get short, you want to go sell the world's biggest iron condor, I would not be in a big rush. Key resistance, 5550 S&Ps, 485 QQQ. You can get long for a bounce on a day trade. Day trade the QQQ long into 485. Then go see what's up from there. Under 485, I think you're looking for 470. Under 470, then it might be time for a little pullback to the old trusty weekly 21 EMA. So take it minute by minute, take it hour by hour. Have a good, strong game plan in place, and I will see y'all at 10:30.